Africa, and around the world. My name is Smart Mado Ajaja. I'm the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and also the convener, I'm the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN and the Nightingale Radio International, broadcasting live always from Houston, Texas, United States of America. It is 11:34 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston. I hope you guys had a great day, and those preparing to go to sleep, I wish you a happy night rest. And those waking up, I welcome you to a brand new day, hoping that everything will be all right for you. The reason I am doing this broadcast, is something very, very um, close to my heart. The youths of Nigeria, their mindset, what drives their mindset. I am making this broadcast because of my relationship with some young people in Nigeria, especially one that I brought so close to me for a very long time, including the time I ran for Senate in Nigeria. I brought him very close to me. He's a good guy. And, you know, we worked together then. But the problem I have with the Nigerian youth is that when you engage them like that, they they don't understand fully that you are all colleagues working for a better or working towards a better country. They see your relationship with them, they make it transactional. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Transactional. They make it seem like you are their employer and they are your employee. And as such, you owe them some obligations. Yeah, but they don't understand that you are both citizens of the same country that is in coma right now. That for someone like me who left the United States to go to Nigeria to run for a position, to inspire hope and inspire the people to do something differently from what they are used to. It beats my imagination that they see me as somebody that must pay them for whatever service that they render to their country. You wonder why the country is where it is. I have lived in the United States for 28 years, going to 29 years. I have mingled with young people here in the United States. I have 3 young people as my children, but their mindset is different. They are very patriotic about their country. They want to do something. They want to be seen as demonstrating something different, exemplary difference. They understand, they have a sense of ownership of the country. They do not relinquish the ownership of their country to some people as it is in Nigeria. Yes, this is the sad thing. And this is what we have been trying to change in that country. The mindset of the young people in Nigeria, for the most part, is terrible, terrible. And that is why it is easy for people who stole money to come and ride on top of their heads. And they will still be praising them. For the sake of this discussion, I want to instigate a new conversation in Nigeria about stakeholdership. Who owns Nigeria? Why do you want to operate from the periphery as a Nigeria? Why do you relinquish your ownership or your share of your ownership of Nigeria to some people? Yes, with big money that you think Nigeria belongs to them, and for you, you are just a vassal and a nobody that anybody can come and push around as long as they can put some money on the table. You eat some cheap food and drink some cheap beer, and maybe perhaps if you have a family, your children are going to school, you don't have money to pay their school fees, you run to a political figure, a thief, who came to exploit you some more for help to take your to pay school fees, and that is what they believe is leadership. You know, Nigerians, if you want something, if you want to become a politician, you want to win an election, you start by doing fake contracts. You start by doing fake empowerment. You know, that's one word I don't want to hear about anymore. Empowerment in Nigeria, slavery, you know, you will go and be digging boreholes that will not work. And that is how our people, sadly, that is how our people, for most part of it, not just only the youth, including the elderly, including some with advanced degrees, that is how they see leadership. The man who came with stolen money or borrowed money, you know, that he's investing for a return on investment when an election is won. The guy who comes and be distributing pittances to the people, to the locals, with no palpable or visible agenda that he's going to carry out that will benefit the people. Those are the people that our people recognize as leaders. When I come out with a roadmap about how they can be lifted from poverty to prosperity. No, it doesn't register with them because I am not bringing money. They will tell you you are speaking only English. Where is the money? We want something to eat because we know that when you go there, we will not see you again. So let us enjoy what we can take from you right now. So when you win and you go there, that's whatever you do, we don't worry anymore. That is the thinking. That is how our people think. It's so painful and it's so hard that a people that can boast of some of the best intellectuals on earth are like that. For the sake of this discussion, I'm going to read something. I try to correct this young man. He does some of the things he does. I think he does them for money. He will be praising thieves, praising criminals in political class, you know, and then, you know, I will caution him, sir, this thing you are doing is not good. You know, this we are in an information age. 10 years down the line, this same thing you are doing, somebody is going to put it in your face. Be very careful of what you're doing. But he will not understand where I'm coming from. Sometimes they will tell you that is because you are not in office. But just read. I'm going to read through some of the things so we can I'll talk about them in details. What is happening in Nigeria? Why Nigerian young people find it very difficult to unite, to react, to demand for a change in their deplorable condition under which that they live right now. Hold on. Let me read something right quick for you so you can hear. Good evening, sir. At first, thank you for the work you are doing for Nigerians, but I want to drive some points to you. Number one, currently, I am working in the UN Migration Benin, though as a security officer. Our job ethics doesn't permit deep politics like criticism or calling names. We can only praise and do things to promote good governance and togetherness. My comments and posts are monitored by my office. This, in the first place, this is a lie. If this was what he was doing, there wouldn't be any need for me to correct him as somebody who is very, very close to me because I see him running into hot water, but he doesn't understand the damage he's doing to himself. He's criticizing every day. There is a young man who is standing up against the system because a young man who is a cross-gender dresser and a homosexual, for that matter, who was sentenced to jail for fraud. He ended up not going to the jailhouse to serve his jail time. He used the connection of his godfather called Femi Falana, a high-profile lawyer in Nigeria, to go and serve his term in a luxury hotel. Something came up, and then he started running his mouth and was dropping Femi Falana's name as his godfather. So threatening the young man on the other side that he is untouchable. because he owed money that he wasn't willing to pay. The guy was asking for him to pay back his money. He refused. And then this young man got the service of another one they call a very dark man. It's a social media influencer who called this young man they call Bob Risky. Yes. And then was telling him that he needed to pay back the guy his money. And he started the same thing and called his bluff. So very dark man told him, I have a copy. I have a video recording of everything, including the voice of Femi Falana, the man you said is your godfather. I'm going to release it if you don't make this payment. So he told him, go ahead and do it. And then the guy did it. Now Femi Falana started coming after him. We have been trying to establish the real relationship between Femi Falana and this gay Bob Risky. Are they having any sexual relationship? Because that is what is becoming so common in Nigeria now. High profile elites in Nigeria, most of them are homosexual now. They have sex slaves and young men that they use for all kinds of crazy sexual, sexual behaviors. This young man was criticizing Mr. Very Dark Man, the one who is telling us here that his job with the United Nations as a security officer did not permit him to talk about people. So all they do was to speak good of everybody, including bad people in Nigeria, in order to promote peace and good governance and togetherness. So if he wasn't doing this, and I was angry because I was on the other side of the argument, because Femi Falana was blackmailing the young man they call a very dark man, that he was going to deal with him, he was going to send him to jail and all that. And it became a serious national issue that is still trending as we speak right now. You know, okay, now point number 2 that he raised. He said, I was currently appointed into the offices of the PRO of National Association of Nigerian Comrades, of which I'm trying my best to make sure you are given patron of Delta State Chapter. This association will help you drive your view, most especially promoting good governance. And that is our major drive because the group is strong pressure group that can influence the decision of government and is founded by strong people. Nigerian young people are funny, very funny people. The majority. I don't want anybody calling me comrade because most of the people who answer comrades in Nigeria are all corrupt people, compromised people. But they use this name comrade. They don't understand what comrades mean. So they say they have an association of comrades. So he trying to get me into a position where I could be of use or I could benefit from that. And I'm not looking for that type of benefit that he's trying to pave way for me to be the patron of the Delta State chapter. I don't belong to those type of things because those young men, I have dealt with them before. They are never straightforward. Everything about them is transactional. So they move, they're like headsmen. Everywhere there is money is where they go. Everywhere there is benefit is where they go. Nigeria is so messed up. So, my friend, I told him, no, I am not interested in that. You cannot be the one, advancing my cause in that way, because especially when I know that what you guys are doing is not straightforward. I couldn't have been a part of that. So when they say they have a community of comrades, it's a community of young people looking for money. Every little thing from politicians, they will go from one political office holder to the other. I am a born activist. I don't have business with government. I don't have business with politicians. What I do is I am a parallel line to them. We can never meet. Yes, how to deal with them, how to handle them, how to inspire our people to make them do their work is my job. I don't have any business hobnobbing with politicians or dealing with people with corrupt tendencies. All right, number 3. Look into owning a channel that can conduct an interview for the people's, most especially politicians, and this could help you drive your your view to them. You can speak correctly, and you are so influential, so you can do with your influence. I have no business with politicians, and they do not understand this because a lot of time young people try to do things. The first thing they go to is they go to the same oppressors, to sell their ideas to them. The oppressors use all those ideas to punish them the more. They don't understand the spirit of independence. They don't understand that they do not have to go and kowtow to politicians in order for them to have their views. So a lot of time they fuse themselves, they embed themselves with these politicians, and then these people disarm them before they do anything. That is why Nigerian young people cannot come together as a pressure group to get anything done. Every time they plan anything, every organization they plan, they have the influence of government in it. And what do they do? Because these young men are mostly corrupt. These crazy government drivers, we give them money. And then when somebody gives you money, what mouth do you have to challenge him? You see, if you're a young Nigerian listening to me now, I believe that this will benefit you because you guys are lost for the most part. The student unionism in Nigeria is gone. It's not the way it was when we were students. The student unions in those days were actually the power of the people. They were the people who would drive the government crazy to get things done in the country. But what we have right now is a total opposite. Young Nigerians who are student union leaders are corrupt, mostly criminals. And they work with the government, they work with their oppressors. When they give them money, they become the mouthpiece of the government. They neutralize their peers, they collect money, they use their peers as bargaining chips to make money. You see a lousy student union president, I'm telling you, driving the best car as a student, where did he get this money from? So the corruption has gone into the country's university and other tertiary institutions. Is that bad? What corruption has done in Nigeria? When the student union elections in Nigeria is done the same way Nigerian general elections are done. A lot of money involved, a lot of vote selling involved, a lot of political interest involved. Yeah, from the mainstream political class in Nigeria have influence on the outcomes of university student union organizations elections. Yes, because they use these students as thugs. They use them to do a lot of dirty things inside the country. This is what this young man is trying to, that is one idea, but I want to correct him. So I have been trying to get him to talk to him on one, but a lot of time we are not able to do that because of network problem. And I decided to share this information so that other young Nigerians will have a clear understanding and perhaps adjust their attitude. You have no business with government as a student union leader. Your business is to oppose them. Your business is to pressure them. Your business is not to negotiate and be in bed with them as it stands today. Yes, as it stands today. Yes, that is number one for that. All right. Now, I think, hold on, let me see if I responded to him because I was looking for ways to really talk to him. I called him. I think I was calling him at the wrong time because of the time difference. Then he calls back 3 times. I wasn't able to get the phone. And he said, "Oh, I have been calling you, and it seems you are busy." Of course, I'm always busy. Okay. Now, he sends another message. I appreciate your efforts and your time, sir. Like what I do tell people, I have no regret working with you in the first place, and you have also helped me a lot. When I was embarking on this move, I told you, though your point was clear and correct, but you may not understand my drive. 2022, I was marginalized. Oh my God. I need my WhatsApp where I'm reading this thing from just got off. I'm going to get back on it. Yeah, we need to hear this. This is very, very important. While I charge and hopefully get back on WhatsApp, let's continue to talk. Yeah, he was talking about when I came to run for office in 2019. 2020, I started sensitizing the people in 2014. Was coming. I did a research. I did an exploration of the minds of our people, looking at the trajectory of so many years that they have been voting, but their vote never counted. They will vote, it will not amount to anything. Every exercise called an election was a means to sell their votes, sell their future, and sell their voice, sell their power, and became more, they became poorer and most vulnerable. So along the line, I got angry. I said, well, I've been speaking to these people. Let me take it a little further. By nature, I'm not a politician. But I felt that somebody has to give something different than what these people already know. It's about transaction. Election in Nigeria is about transaction. So when I was embarking on it, people advised me about how capital intensive it was. I understood that, but I wasn't ready to do things the Nigerian way. I decided to do things something differently. I saved up money. Yeah, my business at the time required me traveling around the United States. And each time I was out of town from my base, I would stay in a hotel, I would eat, and I decided to come up with a formula to generate the money to, drive my race. I found a way to cut down on how much I spent in the hotel. For the most part, when I was out of town, I decided to start sleeping in my car. I would sleep in my car Monday through Thursday. On Friday, yes, through Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. Okay, on Friday, I usually start heading back to Houston. So I would sleep only on that day in a hotel. So on the average, every week I was saving about $400, from hotel bills. So every week I would save $400. So in 1 month I would save like $1,600. So I'll save it. That was how I saved and saved and saved and saved to realize the amount of money that I put into campaigning for Senate in Nigeria. Yes, starting from 2014, after I returned home from where I went to bury my mom. My mom passed in 2014. And I was raging, looking at the way Nigeria was eroding. And to where we are right now is very dangerous. Yes, and I had a huge social media presence. So I built this team of really good young people. There are two. There were two that could write, very good writers, and they understand what I represented. There were some that did not quite understand it, but they were useful in other areas. So I put them where they were useful. We built this huge, great team and a great chemistry. Now the next thing was to look for a political platform with which I would drive my aspiration. I started with the party that I discovered later was a terrorist party. That's what the party they called APC, All People's Congress. Horrible party. My friends were the ones. I thought they were activists like I am, but I discovered later that they were activists for money. for looking for government positions. So I discovered that we shared nothing in common. So I started planning my exit from that party, looking at the way the party was run like a cult. You cannot hold critical views. My problem started with when I opposed the then President Muhammadu Buhari because of some of his terrible policies. It didn't go down well with them, so they plotted from the national level to stop my senatorial ambition. With the national chairman then, Oshomole, actively involved, and they brought this down to the grassroots, to my constituency, where a bulk of the decision will be made. So I was the most prominent aspirant in that race, and the rest were just passerbys. So I could have won that race, the party's nomination, if Nigeria was a straightforward country. But they did everything to stop me. So I saw their handwriting coming. So I didn't let them do what they wanted to do. So I took my exit before they created any kind of situation. Then I took a break a little bit. Then another smaller political party called African Action Congress approached me, and I had a meeting with its presidential candidate, Mr. Moyele Showore, in Los Angeles. I had to fly from here to Los Angeles to go hold a meeting with him. We met. He was touring the country at the time. So we met and we agreed. And then we started. By November, I was in Nigeria, back in Nigeria, when the party had its national convention. And I picked up their senatorial nomination, with which I ran that race. That party did not had a fair share of its own problem, power struggle here and there. People coming to say what they are truly not. So it makes me laugh about what Nigeria has become. It's really sad. It's really sad. So that was how I connected with some of these young men with whom I ran the race. I feel bad that this thing I couldn't read everything before this thing. I don't know how long it's going to take this to power up so I can read everything this young man wrote. But I remember some of the things that he had written. You know, so we worked together, and during the process of working together, I was down to the earth with them. They were even surprised that somebody of my status, they would look at you bigger than you are, would come so low to their level. So we would go to restaurants. I would eat the same thing that they were eating. Even though I was the one paying the same amount of food, the same portion. I did not, segregate myself from that. I did not treat them like they were, junior ones. I know a lot of them were a lot younger than I am. In Africa, when you are younger than someone, they make you feel like that's another thing that we'll have to talk about another day. It's so difficult to be a younger person in Africa. But now they experience something different, that I wasn't the typical African person who want to use his age to breathe down on the younger generation. I was down with them. We played, all kinds of things. And then we kept on running until the election itself, the election proper. We went into the election. The election, it was election. There was no election. It was a sham arrangement of an election. But I was determined to take the race to the end. We went into the election, and it was a wholesale selling of votes, selling and buying of votes. That was what the election was about. It wasn't an election where people voted. Votes were allocated. So they allocated me what they said was my vote. But I was happy that I took the race to the end without bowing. without buying votes, without doing anything illegal. And then right after that, yeah, this young man was, showed class. A lot of people that I gave money to do one thing or the other ran away with my money. When it was over, he brought some money back, about 37,000 naira, which is about not even up to $50 right now. Yeah, he returned it that that was some unused portion. So that really touched my heart that we could still find young men in Nigeria who were that honest. Because the Nigeria we have right now is a Nigeria where young children would want to take everything from you. If you give them money to buy something for you, there is change. They're not going to give you that change, and they'll pocket it with audacity as if it was okay. But this young man brought some money back that was some unspent money. So that made me love him more and brought him closer. But some of the things he wrote in this message that I am not able to immediately read now because my phone died, touched me. He now started accusing me the reason why he started distancing himself from me was like I was not playing the usual fatherly role that I was playing in his life. Meaning, I used to give him money. When he told me he was in problem, I would give him money. So I guess he now started seeing himself as my responsibility, which is not supposed to be, because we were working for the benefit. I was a symbol, of the work that was to benefit, especially his generation, not me. I live in the United States. Like many Nigerians who live here, I could have decided to stay here and then live a normal life here. But since then, my life has never been normal. Then the issue in Nigeria has taken a huge toll of me financially, emotionally, and even health-wise. You know, because I have this burning desire to see a Nigeria that can work for the people of Nigeria there. And then those who come into Nigeria, in case, I have a reason to go home, that will get a country that we can say, okay, yes, I can be relatively secure. But they do not see it like that. They see it like I am investing for a bigger return on investment that will make me this billionaire, that people will be worshiping. That was never my vision for what I was doing. That was not part of what I was trying to do. It's so difficult to explain this to these people in Nigeria. Yeah, that is why Nigeria is stuck. So when he told me that even that when his wife got pregnant, he thought that his wife was going to have a baby boy, so he could name that child after me. Why did he have to do that? And now he was blaming himself that his own child was not a male child. Who cares about who is a male child or who is not? Again, that is that mentality in Africa, especially Nigeria. And he took it so seriously, like, I wish I had a male child. Why? He said, unfortunately, it was a daughter. That was not what I wished for. Can you imagine that? And then that he was going to name his child after me. I did not even name my own child after me, because one day, there was a day I was talking to my son. He said, thank you for not giving me your name because you are a handful. And he said, you are like Bob Marley and Ziggy Marley. Ziggy Marley did not want to stay under his father's canopy because he wanted to define himself as Ziggy. And that's exactly what I want to do with myself. We may do something. Yeah, I know you're a great guy, but your shoes are too big for me. I have to define myself for who I am. And I agreed with him. I don't force my children to be like me. Never. They have to be themselves. I don't put them under any pressure to perform. They have to perform according to how. The only thing I can do, inspire them, encourage them, and tell them basic things that will help them. And they run with it. And they're doing great with that. My children have suffered. with me because of Nigeria. They have been deprived a lot. And they understand that I have a mission. And they do their own part by making sacrifices that young people in Nigeria do not understand and they do not see it. A lot of them want to come around you for what they get from you and not because they believe in what you are doing. So this is where we have this problem. I wish I could read the whole thing, but this is a nutshell of what is holding the young people in Nigeria down. They have become so transactional. Everything about them is money. You can't get Nigerian youths together to do anything without spending money. They don't understand the sense of urgency required to save Nigeria. They prefer to be watching comedies. They prefer to be watching the pornographic show they call a BB Niger. They don't know how fast and how rapidly their country is evaporating. It's so frustrating. But we cannot hands up because we have a calling to the duty of saving Nigeria. I hope young Nigerians will be able to see through the pain some of us go through. Staying here and living triple life. You live for your family here, you live for yourself, you live for the people in Nigeria. Every day, as we speak right now, I have had over 10 calls. People asking me for one type of help or the other because of the difficult economic situation at home. Yes, I think somebody sent a message the other day, diaspora Nigerian, sent a message that urging Nigerians in the diaspora to stop giving money to the people at home because we are enabling them to be lazy. And that is because of the money we send to them, the support we give them. That is why they are not able to stand up and hold their government accountable. And I believe that is true. I believe that is true. Because no normal human beings will be living through what the people of Nigeria are living through right now. No government anywhere on earth can do what Bola Tinubu and his rogue government have been doing to Nigerians since the past 1 year. No government on earth will do that and still stay in power. Nigerians adjust so easily to every pain. Instead of them rising up, they will adjust. They will be making plans for 2027, another election that will come and go with nothing done. Their situation will get worse. Nigerian people are mostly unpatriotic. I am a Nigerian, and I'm not afraid of saying it because the people of Nigeria need to be told the hard truth. Because they have had hypocrites all over the place, lying to them about what is not. You have pastors telling them that Jesus is going to come and save them, do everything for them, without them doing anything, as long as they pay them their tithes and offerings. They pay these pastors, criminals, tithes and offering, with which they build mansions, buy private jets with which they fly around the world. With them being so poor, these pastors build universities that they and their children cannot attend because of the high cost of going there. The mind of the Nigerian is screwed up, especially the Nigerian young people. They are not patriotic for the most part. They are not sacrificial. They are unwilling to do anything. They have no stamina to stand their ground whenever they make any resolution. Look at so many missed opportunities to turn Nigeria around. It is easier for them to go tribal. It is easier for them to go regional. It is easier for them to go religious when they should be standing up for themselves and for their country. And most importantly, for their future. They lack this self-awareness. They lack the consciousness that is required to unite and get something done. The few times they will come out to protest, they don't stay 2 days. They are tired. They start complaining of hungry. If you are in it with them, they will turn to you. Give us money, give us money. They will need money to mobilize people for protest. Why do I have to mobilize you if you are truly in pains about what is taking place in your country? Why do I have to pay you? Why do I have to put you in a bus? Why do I have to buy you food? I always refer to the Egyptians, to them. When Hosni Mubarak thought that he was the king of Egypt and that he would not leave power, the Egyptians came together, especially the Egyptian youths. Some trekked from Alexandria, some rode bicycle. They occupied the presidential palace for days until Mubarak caved in and surrendered. And then another one came. Within 3 months, they came back and sent him packing. Yes, Nigerian youths, this generation of Nigerian young people, they say we should not blame them. We talk nice to them, we bring them, we tell them calmly how this thing, divorce yourselves from this ugly past, immediate past generation because they are no good. No, they will always defer to them because of money. Now the country has become so paralyzed economically. There's absolutely nothing. They are so weak. Yeah, weaker than ever. You can't, I'm not an advocate of sending people to the streets. One, because they are unconscious. For me to send you into the street, I have to teach you. You have to know why you're on the street so you'll be able to articulate your reason for being on the street. Not this generation of Nigerian people. When you are telling them, they are telling you about Yoruba, they are telling you about Igbo, they are telling you about Hausa, they are telling you about Fulani, they are telling you about Islam, they are telling you about Christianity. And they listen to these fake pastors and imams. They listen to the fake royal, what do you call, traditional rulers who will go and steal, take money, and then come and start misleading the people there. Yes. So this is what the Nigerian youth is the most confused youth on earth. He doesn't know what he wants. He sees the American youth, he's interacting with them online. He sees the youth from other parts of the world, they interact online. They see the progress those ones are making, but they cannot make any such progress here. No thanks again to our elder system that make a young person guilty before he was born. The elders will always breathe down. I don't know when they will stop listening to these stupid elders. You hear the northern elders, you hear, especially in the north, you hear the traditional rulers. They are the ones who tell them what to do. They are not hungry. Their children are not in Nigeria. All of their children are outside Nigeria going to school. These people see it. They cannot ask them questions. Why are you sending me this way when your children are elsewhere? They can't ask. We've been educating these people. I don't know if what we are telling them is making sense. Now, just 3 days ago, yes, somebody came. The problem now in Nigeria is food. Food. With food, you can take a Nigerian. With food, you can put a Nigerian in your pocket. Food. A white man came to a popular estate in Nigeria. We don't know where that white man came from. He started with the Bible. He came, was distributed. Yeah, I call him, even though he pretend to be a missionary, he's a mercenary. And that is a warning about what is to come to Nigeria. He came with the Bible. He was distributing Bible, but he did not make any headway. His Bible were left with him in his hand. He was only able to give a few Bibles. Then he went and bought loaves of bread. Once he brought loaves of bread, come and see thousands of people. The line spiraled like miles. He was distributing bread and perhaps the Bible to them. That is how dire the situation in Nigeria is. The people are so weak. They are so docile. They are so rudderless. And that is how a few people, led by a drug dealer, a certificate forger, and an identity thief, paired with a terrorist, yes, is dealing with Nigerians with the worst hammer of hell. Yes, is that bad? When the youth of a country are weak, that country becomes hopeless. The youths of Nigeria have no sense of direction. We've been trying to give them one, but the reaction has not been what we expect. But we're not going to give up. We'll continue to do it. And hopefully, we hope that we'll break even and start getting these people to start thinking. I don't think the young people in Nigeria have suffered enough. But they prove it. They tell us how much they are suffering. Come out. Join a force for good. You won't see them. It's either they are afraid that they are going to lock them, or they will expect you to pay them money. But when you pay them money, your money will only last for a few days, if not a few hours, before it expires, and then you are expected to give some more. Who is going to be doing that? That is the problem some of the young Nigerian people have with me. I tell them the hard truth, the hardest way, so it will register. I don't know how to lie, and I'm not going to lie. Some people lie to them. Well, all well and good for them, but I will never lie. I will tell you the way it is. The way Nigeria is right now, Nigeria is going to cave in very soon, and many people will suffer unless something is done right now, and urgently too. Yeah, I feel sad that that is how the country of my birth is right now. I'm a proud Nigerian, but I'm not proud of Nigeria right now because of its tragedy of leadership. We can't continue that country this way, the way it is going. I don't know how much time is left for Nigeria, but I'm worried that that country is going to collapse in no distant time, especially with all that is happening. I hear the World Bank vice president came to Nigeria and actually wrote a death sentence for the people of the country, telling them that they must continue the way they are in this deplorable state that they are in. I don't know what gave him the boldness, the audacity to come to Nigeria to say that. Before him was Bill Gates coming out to tell Nigerians that they don't pay enough taxes, people who are dying. So I don't know what all these neo-colonial interests are doing in Africa, especially Nigeria. It's Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the great puppet of the West. He has sold our country, and history will judge him so harshly. And I'm calling on Nigerians. If you don't do something about that man now, many of you will be buried alive. All right, it's a pleasure talking to you this early morning. It's 12:23 already, and I look forward to talking to you some more later in the morning. Please do me a favor if you love what I'm doing now, what we're doing through ONN. Do us a favor. Share this message with your friend. Share it with as many Nigerians as you can. Share it with all lovers of Nigeria and all men and women of conscience from within Africa and around the world to hear what is taking place in Nigeria and how decimated the mindset of the youth of Nigeria has gotten. Bye for now.